Thank you, Ken Leaper, for 450 pounds in the super chat. Thank you very much for all you do for this great hobby. Thank you, Ken. I appreciate the support. It is a great hobby. That is for damn sure. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of frustration, too. There was a message on my YouTube comments this morning. There was a guy last night. Last night, he left 2 or 3 comments on 2 or 3 different videos. And they were comments like he was like, he had just gotten FPV gear or whatever and was having trouble setting it up. And so he like left a comment on my Crossfire setup video, like, Crossfire's crap. It doesn't work, which means I can't figure out how to get it to work. I mean, Crossfire is one of the easier to set up control links in this hobby, but there's obviously a learning curve. So then he left a couple comments, not really asking for help as much as just complaining. And then this morning he left a comment on my Betaflight setup video, which basically said, thanks, you bricked my radio. Thanks for a great introduction into this hobby. And this happened once before. There was a guy who literally accused me of bricking his radio. And I said, listen, I mean, if none of the instructions in this video should brick your radio if you follow the instructions. Thousands of people have watched this video. You're the first one to say, oh, you bricked my radio. So if there was a problem in this video, like my very first Crossfire setup video, I can't remember if the pinout changed or if I got the wiring wrong, but I had the 5-volt and the ground wires backwards, and I put a note in trying to, but many people didn't see the note and they fried their receiver, and I took the video down. So like I have posted videos with mistakes in them before. And in fact, when somebody would say to me, you fried my receiver, you son of a bitch, I would be like, I'm really sorry. And I'd buy him a new receiver. I'm sure there were many people who fried receivers who I didn't hear from, though. But in this case, he said, oh, this video fried bricked my radio. And I said, well, hey, don't worry. Your radio is not permanently bricked. You can always get them back. Let's just figure out where you went wrong and let's get it fixed. And he said, like I'd let you touch my radio again. And I kept going back and trying to be empathetic. Like, I know it's frustrating. I'm sure we can fix this. Let me help you. I got to the point where I even offered to get on a Zoom call with him and try to fix it. And he accused me of intentionally putting bad information in my video in order to sabotage people out of some sadistic urge. And I said, I have 250,000 subscribers because I help people. I have patrons. I help people. That's why it doesn't make sense. What you're saying doesn't make sense. It didn't go anywhere. And my wife said, you can't do a Zoom session with this guy because computers break. And if, God forbid, his computer breaks the day after you're helping him, he will be sure that you broke it. I'm like, yeah. So I ended up disengaging, and that was the end of it. It was the craziest interaction I've ever had, though. And so this time, this guy comes along and says, well, you bricked my radio, you son of a bitch. Thanks for the great introduction to the FPV hobby. And I was just like, nope. Hide from channel. We'll never see a comment from him again. I'm not going down that road. And I feel bad because there's this tendency that the person who is the most hurt and angry is the one, and I don't know if everybody feels this way, but sometimes I feel this way. That's the person that if there's somebody there and they're just like, yeah, fuck, I don't know. Like, well, I'm kind of busy today. I'll see what I can maybe try this. And then you go somewhere else. But if there's a person who's like, oh, I need help. This hobby is so hard. Like, oh man, let's help that person. They're the one who needs it the most. They're so full of anguish and pain. That is where the greatest good can be done in the world. And you were like, if I can save this one, I will truly be a good person. If I can bring this person back from their darkness, the savior syndrome. And then I thought, you know what? There's a whole lot of people who need help and who are more worthy of help than some jackass who lashes out. Like, I understand the hobby is frustrating. And you get to a point where you just want to punch a wall sometimes or throw all your stuff out the window. Like, I get that. But if you're going to leave a comment that says, thanks for the great introduction to the hobby, you bricked my radio. There's only so many hours in the day. There's only so many emails I can send. And maybe that just means you don't make the cut today. And that's what I decided. Like, if there was all the time in the world, I would just get on the phone with you and try and help you and show you that the hobby, everything's okay. You can do it. But frankly, if you've got that attitude to begin with, probably not going to have a great time in this hobby. Thank you, Samwise Gamgee, for $5 Australian. Thanks for all your knowledge and willingness to help people. Would love to see you live over. I'm lucky I get to see you live over here in Australia, very early in the morning. Yeah. I didn't even reply. I was just like, all right, you're done. Bye. Bye-bye. Good luck.